Social and ethical issues, health and safety. So we are going to take a look at health and safety, and as the word suggests, it relates to people being healthy and safe within the workplaces, but with a more of a focus on the fact that we developed an information system to be in this workplace, which also should abide by health and safety principles. So let's get into it with Workplace Health and Safety, or WHS as its acronym for short, aims to ensure a safer working environment through generating awareness of hazards and their likelihood of risk that is associated with them. So, hazards are things that can cause danger, and risk is the likelihood that the hazard will cause danger. So, there are hazards all over the place in the workplace, but essentially they can have a low risk. They're less likely to hurt us. Okay, so your computer monitor is considered a hazard. It can cause you eye strain. Okay, but its risk is very low, provided that you look away from your screen every now and then and take your regular breaks. Okay, but if you're on a construction site and you're working in scaffolding at large heights, well, there's a hazard, which is the height itself. Okay, and if you're not strapped in with harnesses or anything, well, the risk is very high that you're going to fall off that scaffolding. Okay, so that's the relationship between hazards and risks. Okay, so what WHS involves is assessing and redesigning working environments in order to reduce the likelihood of harm occurring to workers, clients, subcontractors, or any person coming through the working area. Okay, the foundation for this documentation of health and safety in New South Wales, which is where I live in Australia, is derived from Workplace Health and Safety Act 2011. Okay, and essentially the systems we develop must legally abide by the recommendations, okay, under these WHS principles, okay? So if we develop a system, an information system, it's got to abide by this act, okay, and it's got to obviously factor in people's health and safety. So let's take a look at it now from its negative impacts. Firstly is systems can cause harm. Information systems have a number of hazards which can cause both short and long-term injury. These include eye strain, as mentioned before, wrist injuries from typing and not resting your wrist, and then back injuries, okay, from sitting in inappropriate chairs or the way you are poised at a system when using it. And then obviously all these systems are powered by electricity. So electricity is also a hazard in relation to our information systems. So all these things we need to factor in our WHS planning within the workplace. Secondly, we need to stay up to date with the legislations because the legislations then develop policies and procedures that are put into workplaces. So organizations by law need to keep up to date with this WHS policy and procedures and implement them into their workplaces. It consumes both time and resources, training, being up to date, thinking new ways of doing things in order for us to stay compliant with WHS. And then finally, time for documenting WHS. Policies, practices, risk assessments, incident reports all need to be documented and recorded because workplaces and systems, they get what's known as audited. People come in to check that your workplace is safe. So you need to have the paperwork on file, whether it be electronically or paper based, be ready to go so that if you ever do get checked out in relation to how well you're applying with WHS principles, you've got the data to show them. Okay, so it does take time for organizations to manage WHS. But essentially, on the positive side, we've got to understand this is all to provide a safe working environment. And that's the underlying thing here. We all want to be safe. So the overall goal of providing a work environment that keeps everyone as safe as possible. Okay, so it is safe as possible. But we've got to understand there's a human element to safeness, okay? And we've got to abide by these principles to make sure it's safe. That's why if we act irresponsible ourselves, we can cause injury in the workplace. So we need to follow this in order to achieve this safe working environment. Secondly, is improved employee confidence. Individuals who feel safe within a workplace will have more positive attitude to coming to work and contributing to WHS as they feel their feelings and opinions are valued. Okay, if they're using a system or they're in a workplace where they feel safe, okay, they are more happy to use it. If they're using a system and they're sitting at a monitor with where the software has flashing lights and it strains their eyes, they're not going to want to use that system because it's causing them pain, it's causing them injury. Okay, so following these practices and putting in good design, as we said, we redesign things, which obviously is a purpose when we do develop new information systems. We redesign it so it is comfortable for us to look at that screen. Okay, we choose colors, we choose brightness of the monitors that is comfortable on the user's eyes so that they are happy when using the system. And then finally, it saves on costs of workplace injury. And these costs aren't all financial. So essentially, there are four areas of costs, which are human, okay, which means humans actually getting injured themselves. Social, which means the interaction between people in the workplace, okay, stays positive. economic, which relates to money, okay, and the costs of injury. Okay, when someone gets injured, we've got to pay them compensation to get better, okay, as well as put someone in their place while they are injured to do their work as well. And then finally, organizational costs. Okay, it looks bad on an organization if people that work there are getting injured. Okay, they are all costs of workplace injury. So if we do ensure the health and safety of people when using our systems, it's going to be less costly on our workplace because everyone's going to be happy, healthy, and not have any problems at all. So I hope this video has given you a good introduction into health and safety overall, but obviously how it applies to information systems in maintaining health and safety of the users of these information systems.